Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, but Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers, Season 7, Episode 17, Zero Larp 30, and Episode 18, the Laser-inth. And we always start off with a synopsis. So here is the synopsis for Zero Larp 30. Linda has won a contest to participate in the Winthorpe Manor LARP. Teddy watches the kids again while Bob and Linda attend the LARP. He throws out his back, and the kids are forced to help him through it. Bob and Linda are assigned their characters at random and sadly end up as servants. While the entire estate is not open to the LARPers, the upstairs characters get access to more while the downstairs characters have to work. Bob gets to hang out with the upstairs people, leaving Linda behind. Linda is replaced by someone else and is told she isn't allowed to walk through the tulip garden, so she begins an uprising with the other downstairs people. They plan to steal the special 7-course dinner and parfait. They plan to steal the automobile and eat the dinner while the upstairs characters are forced to walk all the way back to the manor. As they are about to eat Mrs. Winthorpe's 7-layer parfait, the upstairs people make it back to the manor and all hell breaks loose. A huge fight breaks out and the off-limits library is damaged in the act. The LARPers are kicked out of the LARP, but that doesn't keep Bob from becoming obsessed with Winthorpe Manor. The kids use a door made into a makeshift gurney to get Teddy to his chiropractor and heal his aching back. And we always start off with our puns. What did you get for the vacant storefront?
You do the math recovery clinic.
I'm so happy I'm making you do this. What did you get for the pest control truck?
Sprays and confused pest control. That one's less ridiculous to be saying.
It's not as bad.
And
we have
just
a burger.
silverware, yes. That was the creminis and misdemeanies burger. Comes with cremini mushrooms.
It's supposed to be a play on the movie Crime and
figured.
Misdemeanors, and all I got is misdemeanies. I can't with the misdemeanors,
I
man.
get it. Like, I get they went for a joke, and I mean they got it. But I was like, we could do criminis and misdemeanors. We don't have to do two. We don't do two jokes in one.
No. Well, this title is the title of the episode is obviously a reference to the 2012 movie Zero Dark 30. The LARP part of the title is the acronym LARP, which you and I both know means live action roleplay. Yeah, because that's a thing. The The opening sequence from this episode is slightly different, with the glass in the restaurant's front windows being fully transparent as opposed to slightly opaque before. So that's fun. Obviously, Tina says that Winthorpe Manor is American Downton Abbey. The script cover is an image parody of Downton Abbey. The episode is very much a reference, obviously, to Downton Abbey. Even the downstairs dining room looks almost exactly like in the Downton Abbey downstairs dining room. So I don't know this. I didn't know this because I have never watched Downton Abbey. My grandmother loves it.
I have never seen the series. I did go see the first movie because my mom wanted to see it, and she doesn't like going to movies by herself, so I went with her. And my one critique of the movie is it's a good movie, and like I think you can go see it without having seen the show. I think you get more out of it if you have seen the show. However, look up every character name beforehand because I swear they didn't use anyone's name for 45 minutes. Like I heard not one name for the first 45 minutes of that movie.
My grandmother loves it. I think she went and saw the movie like multiple times when it came out. And this is a woman that does not like the movie theater. The last time we got her into a movie theater was when the first Shrek movie came out. And she went and saw this movie, the Downton Abbey movie, multiple times in theaters. I was like, all right, Grandma, go off. I love her. And then the Some Like It Pop Old Timey Soda Shop from Gail Macon Bobsled appears when the kids are taking Teddy to Dr. Juarez. Another store named Smoothie Criminal appears as well. And I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines.
I have 9.
Oh my God.
Sure.
You want to go first?
Why couldn't you have won a normal contest? Because it's my favorite show.
Jeez, Dad, read a book, then act it out.
I guess they didn't have kids in 1901. They were all working in factories getting covered in soot.
How's your syphilis? It's clearing up.
That one too. Or else we're done. It's been 3 hours of this theme song, to which I added, at least when I listen to the instrumentals, it's the entire instrumental soundtrack and not just one song.
Yes, and you have a fine, vigorous mustache. You clearly come from superior stock.
Should we call a doctor or just put you down?
Whoops, syphilis cough.
I also had the fine, vigorous mustache. Now I have, maybe we should let someone beside the floor heal you?
I have one more, but how many more do you have? All right, give me your two, because my last one,
Okay.
I have problems.
Ropes and pulleys, simple machine. Yeah, if anything, this is too safe.
Oh God.
And then, Teddy, no one's looked this good on a door since Kate Winslet in Titanic.
I watched these literally this morning before recording because so Lauren was sweet and got me some really cool audio software for my birthday, and I had to figure it out. So I took too much time doing that, so I didn't have time last night to watch my episodes. So I watched them this morning. As you pointed out, their episode that came out today was recorded on Election Day, and today is January 20th as we record. And there's just something that hit me really hard when Linda starts going. I think we put that era on a pedestal maybe a little too much. Life was horrible back then if you weren't in the super upper class. I'm just glad that we live in a time where there are no classes. And I'm just sitting here like,
I mean,
this is not the day I should watch this. As like a lot of people are going through like a class consciousness like awakening, and it's just really interesting. And I just wrote, Linda, my dear sweet love.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey. Which is definitely the joke that was being made. And I appreciate the writers for that. I'm not going to lie. I grew up with LARPers in my family. Like I've told you before, my uncle used to make weapons. And so we used to actually take like those weapons and test them out for them and fight each other. So like I definitely get the appeal for some LARPers and like the enjoyment that they get out of it. I just can't. At 31 years old, I'm just like, I love that you guys still have your imaginations like that. I don't think I could partake. I would just laugh so much trying to act like that.
It's a defined skill that either you have it or you don't.
Like you cannot take yourself too seriously, I think, to be able to
nor
partake
the
in
game,
that.
which was my overarching theme of this episode of like my understanding of LARPing is not, I mean, maybe these things do exist when like it's a LARP based on a particular franchise, but my understanding usually is if it's based on a particular franchise, you're not LARPing as pre-existing characters. Most LARPs I understand are like D&D, you're generating your own character usually,
but like in that world
kind of thing. So like the fact that they're playing like the characters from the show, and I'm like, again, that's my understanding of LARPing, but like it just feels like everyone, especially people that paid, like yes, Linda won a contest, everyone else paid a lot of money to be there. Like everyone's entitled to enjoy it, which is like something, if it was based on this, it would make more sense that everyone would be playing an upstairs character,
and that they would hire actual actors to partake of the other parts of it.
But yes, like a lot of my notes are about like the absurdity of a design of a LARP like this, where like basically people have paid money to be a servant.
Yeah, it's not fair whatsoever. Like if I would be asking for my money back immediately if that was the situation, because I understand the appeal of wanting to also exist in that world. Because look, if I had the opportunity to go to New Zealand and stay in a hobbit hole, you bet your ass I would be like, I'm a fucking hobbit. But with that, it's an enjoyable thing to do. You mean I get to sit around and eat all day and chill and smoke? Fuck yeah, I want to be a hobbit. Like, let's do that. Going and cutting off all the wicks and literally being called up constantly to this woman who is not actually this character to serve her.
Well,
no, that's just.
I wrote at the very beginning. I was like, oh, this would be what would happen if I won a contest. That would like basically send me to Steveston, wouldn't it? And like I thought in my mind of what a ideal situation of that would be, like a once upon a time live experience kind of thing, and like.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
I mean, I know most of the sets obviously are mostly CGI, so we got to work there. But like as long as I know leading into it that, you know, maybe half of it is Enchanted Forest themed, the other half is, you know, Storybrooke themed. So, you know, but so, you know, going in that it will involve camping because kind of have to. But like with the camping, with the Enchanted Forest stuff, maybe horseback riding lessons and sword fighting and stuff like that, and archery stuff that sounds fun. And then the other half could be hanging around Steveston I'm sure there's a hotel there somewhere.
Like going to Granny's Diner.
The building that they use the exterior for Granny's is a diner. It is a cafe.
So we would go to the diner.
I'm sure there's a hotel somewhere in that town. You know, walk along the beach. Like
stand by the library.
Which is a hardware store.
It's a hardware store.
Well,
because there is no clock tower.
There are once upon a time walking tours in Steveston. That is a thing that you can. That is a thing you can do.
Oh, so we have to do that eventually. Maybe when we're like near the end of our little finale, we'll have to like plan
and
a trip
save
or
money
some
to
shit.
go to Canada.
Yes, that's how you go out of finishing a show with a bang.
Go to Canada.
Look, the answer to that is like if we ever reach the like end of our own Bob's Burgers of me being like, all right, we're going to New Jersey.
To the Jersey Shore.
We're going to the Jersey Shore. Oh my god! Now we have to
very different experiences, and also
very different
for both of us.
Right?
More so for me, but still.
You're closer to Canada than I am.
Yes, I'll agree. Yes, I'm closer to Canada. Steveston is British Columbia. That is the West Coast.
I know that's the West Coast.
So, no, for both, it's equally expensive and far for both of us.
It's equally as expensive. You gotta get passports.
Well, okay, I already have my passport.
You just meet somewhere and be like, is there a train there? I don't have my passport. Passports are actually expensive. But for a family of 4 on top of that. So that's 4 prices.
But at one point, I was like, why is this episode let's shit on Linda? That was...
Yeah, honestly, Linda just gets constant... Like, her starting an uprising, I don't blame her at all.
No, like, that's a very natural thing. I was proud of them for... Well, at the very beginning when they said, let's drop a lamb shank and eat it later. Like, yes, do that. Because obviously, this is not a fair situation for anybody. But this is also, like, the second episode in not a lot of time where the major conflict... Or one of the major conflicts is one of the family members ditching Linda. Because Bob, as soon as he starts getting attention, walks away. Yeah. And then we have Tina from that episode a few weeks ago. So, like, I'm like, maybe this is a kind of thing of when you're watching them in such close succession. I mean, maybe people pick up on this when they binge the show. I don't know, because I'm sure in a binge, those 2 episodes could be, like, the same day. But it just seems very close together for a very similar conflict. Even though, like, for Linda, the situation isn't what she wanted it to be anyway. But Bob's not helping.
No, he's not. And, like, I understand he's, like, really getting into it. He's realizing he's enjoying himself. And so I guess that process of, like, okay, Bob's figuring out what Linda sees in this stuff. And he's getting to find out firsthand what it's actually like instead of just from watching a TV show. But at the same time, like, he still supported her uprising. So I feel like he tried to redeem himself because he did help steal the automobile and everything. Like,
he waited until after
somewhat
until after he shot his clay pigeons first.
That's I think I see that as we're always a little selfish sometimes. Like, there are a lot of situations sometimes when we decide to do the selfish thing. And I think Bob took that route and then realized his mistake and was like, I should help my wife because she's not enjoying this and we're here for her.
Yes, it is. Towards the end, I just wrote, Nancy is a bitch. I just wrote that. It's because she was.
But, like, getting that experience and then using that experience to force someone else to do shit tons of, like, all these things for you, like, no, that's you make do until morning. You don't torture the other lady who's not getting the same experience as you. But no, it all went straight to her head. Straight to her head, and she acted like that. She wanted
her bed pillow, bed wine, and bed gin.
Which is...
It's a winning combination. Nope. But
that's a bad combination for the next morning.
Very much is. But it was like it comes back to like the major conflict being like, this is not how LARPs. At least if someone's welcome to correct us if there are LARPs that are like these like immersive experiences of TV shows where you're like the actual characters. Because if I was thinking about like I was thinking about it once upon a time when like having people. I mean, to be fair, if you're basing it off of main characters, there isn't really a servant. There isn't that same class dynamic with Once Upon a Time, so like really you would just, but that would be a case of like if people were acting as the specific characters, so that means that people who were Enchanted, like people that were playing Regina, Snow, Charm, whatever, would get to do stuff in both an Enchanted Forest thing and Storybrooke thing. But then if you're Emma or Henry, you get left out of half the stuff. That's not fun.
You know what I think would be really, really fun? It's kind of like a LARP, but you pretty much wake up with like a card, whatever information, and there's clues everywhere specifically for you. You've got to figure out who you are. Like, you've woken up from the curse and now you have to figure out who you are.
That sounds fantastic.
How much fun would that be?
Cool. It's like a scavenger hunt.
It's like a scavenger hunt, but you're trying to figure out which character you are. Like, how much fun would that be? Like, you still wake up in your own room and everything else, but like whatever, maybe it's just like a package at the door or something with your information in it. and then it's like sending you to the next location, and all the locations are filming locations.
So apparently we have a business to build now, which is the Welcome to Storybrooke experience coming 2028.
Right? How amazing
Oh
would
my
that
God.
be? Like, that is an untapped market, but you need to do that like in
But
other places, because it makes me think of like all the different places that they've filmed like the Hunger Games and stuff. Like, there's just so many locations that could do something like that.
that
It'd
would
be
be
so
cool.
much fun.
But you need to do that in coordinates with the rights holders. Like we would need to like get ABC. So the thing is, like, we can't do that without having ABC on board.
I love that I come up with this just fun idea that I think would be great, and you're just like, this is a business adventure. Disney! Let me get Disney on the line.
Somebody call ABC. Wait, who's in charge? Who's in charge of ABC programming now?
I need a visa. I need a visa.
I'm literally like, who's the president of ABC right now?
The amount of money people would pay for an experience like that, though, because then you can make packages, include your Airbnb stay, whatever. Not Airbnb. I'm thinking like a bed and breakfast and Granny's diner. Like, oh God, I'm too smart for this. See, someone hire me.
Ricardo Martinez on the line. He's the current executive. Okay, yeah. Well, okay, no, actually, that's the current executive director of current programming. So, like, President or Craig Erwish. There's a lot of people that could be in charge of this.
Look, just give us the funding. We'll get the visas.
We'll get Roberta the work. Allen. She's the head of programming acquisitions and streaming. I'm just looking up the executives of ABC now.
You're like, this is a great idea. Hold on the line. Please don't steal my idea, guys. Like, give me credit, please.
Well, to be fair, if this goes out, this is proof that we thought of it first.
This was my idea. So yeah, what do you think of Teddy's storyline?
Honestly, it was enough because we had enough A plot, like the fact that the B plot is just him throwing out his back and then bringing him to the chiropractor's quinceañera. I was nervous that it was going to be Teddy focused, but I was glad this was a case of Teddy the babysitter is not the A plot of the episode, as opposed to other times where it has been the A plot. So it was fine.
That's just, they let him do it again, which was nice. But all right. What did you rate this?
So, I've had a lot more fun talking about this episode than I did watching it. Because again, that's the fact of like this is the LARP thing just really didn't sit great with me. So I gave it a 5 for plot, a 7 for character, and a 6 for personal. This episode got an 18.
God damn!
I was a little harsh. Harsh today.
I gave plot and character 8 and personal 9, so this is a 25 for me. But damn, you were like, nope, stop being mean to my Linda.
Like, I'm like, we're being mean to her as part of the humor. This just felt mean.
Yeah. Can I say that's actually somewhat feels like reality though? Like, as a mother, yes, there are wonderful families that treat you so wonderful. There are moments you get that you're just like, oh my God, this is so sweet. And then you have moments that you're just like, why? Just
fair.
Why? Like, as you saw, you guys don't hear or see, but my kids like to interrupt me. And every time it's, Mom, can I have this? And I'm like, your father is sitting on the couch. You were sitting next to him, walked away from him to come to me, who was busy with doors closed. He's next to you.
Yeah.
They will. They'll like fly there. We went shopping a while back, actually, before I do the next synopsis. He was with me the whole trip. Every 5 seconds, Mom, Mom, Mom. And I'm like, I'm not even touching the buggy. The man is right here. So I understand Linda's frustrations and being treated like not the best all the time. I feel like moms are such a safe space for so many people that we're not always seen as like, hey, maybe give us some space too. Like, let us exist, please, and have our emotions. Oh boy. Now we have episode 18, the Laser-inth. It's Bob's birthday. He discovers the planetarium is having its last ever rock and roll laser show that very night, and the family decides Jean will go with him. Meanwhile, the girls join their mom to have dinner with Gretchen. Gretchen works at the Special Girl, a doll store that also has its own restaurant. Each patron to the restaurant must have a dinner doll, and Tina is not a fan. Jean doesn't do well in the laser show, and they're forced to leave. Bob explains more of the laser show to Jean while they sit in the car, and Jean realizes he does want to see the rest of the show, so they have to sneak back in. Back at dinner, they find out that dinner dolls are recycled instead of being rehomed, so they create a plan to save a doll from the chipper. Bob and Jean make it back into the show, and the girls save the doll, and Louise even takes her home. And what did you get for the vacant storefront?
Balls to the wall handball supply.
You're welcome. And then we have the pest control truck.
Jiminy Crooked Exterminators. Which I was like, okay. Which, to be fair, actually, we haven't seen Archie in a while, and I don't think we're not going to. I don't think he's...
That's okay. We don't need therapy right now.
I'm trying to think of when he comes back. I want to say we don't see him again until season 6. He took a break.
Crazy.
He took a break for a couple years. They didn't need him.
Okay, maybe some people need therapy. Maybe not that long of a break. The title and the script cover is a reference to the 1986 movie Labyrinth, starring David Bowie, which... classic. If they ever try to remake it, I will boycott. Like, no, that's one of those movies you don't remake.
Yeah, there's definitely movies that like a remake would just it would always fundamentally miss what made the original special. Like, you can't remake The Princess Bride.
No, God, if they nope. There's too much cultural significance with The Princess Bride to ever remake it, which is where I think we've had the discussion before, which where they kind of lost the plot with Mean Girls. It was too soon
because the original one still had such cultural relevance.
Yep. This is the first episode in season 7 not to have any scenes set in the restaurant or any burgers of the day. The previous episode not to feature any burgers was Sacred Couch.
Dang.
It's been a while. So you have gotten so many burgers. It's like not even that bad that you didn't get a burger this one.
I mean, but I like the burgers.
I know.
I like them.
Xenipede's logo, as seen on the album cover for General Insanity, strongly resembles that of a British heavy metal band, Iron Maiden. Larry Murphy, I can say his name, is credited for voicing Teddy in this episode, but Teddy doesn't appear. Murphy, however, voices Gretchen in this episode.
I am aware.
And I love that you sent me what you did, because Special Girl dolls are a parody of American Girl dolls, and the store is a clear replication of the retail stores. And of course, you sent me your own little American Girl doll thing.
Yeah, it was a meme from a group that I follow. Someone found they had a tiny version of a Torah. Like, Rose, my American Girl doll has never had a bat mitzvah. We must fix this. And so it's the American Girl doll reading the Torah.
Please, I'm going to save that. Okay. Unlike the human characters on Bob's Burgers, the Special Girls dolls' pupils have color. The dumpster around the back of the planetarium has a discarded model of the former planet Pluto. Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006. And I just have to say, I actually did write the words "Justice for Pluto" in my notes. So, you know my feelings on Pluto.
Yeah.
And the General Insanity rock opera was inspired by the Styx album Kilroy Was Here, according to a tweet from Lauren Bouchard.
Okay.
How do I only have 6 lines written down?
I have 4.
I have 6 this time, so I'll go first. Sure, I like Gretchen. She's your friend who swears. She's a cool, sassy bee who don't take S from anyone.
It's made with love and no flour by accident.
The next time I complain that our restaurant is sad, remind me about this.
It's like when you let me watch Beaches all over again, which I was like...
I wrote that one too!
That's accurate. So for me, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to adequately prepare Katie for that experience.
He said that, and I had never picked up on it before, because obviously we're reaching this point after you've told me about Beaches, and I'm just sitting here like, what? Wait, Jeans watch Beaches! That was one of mine, though, so... So this place was your only friend, huh?
I don't want to oversell it, but it changes you forever. It's like, we found the meme.
You got ticks? Not anymore. I use a spray and a medicated collar, and I stay out of tall grass.
This is my last one. Just imagine yourself inside the planetarium having an amazing climax.
My last one, it's Pluto, the disgraced ex-planet. Because I also wrote down Beaches, because now I can't wait to watch Beaches. My movie's next, but I'm assuming Beaches is after we watch that one.
Yeah.
Okay, which I think, you're better at actually when things come out than I am.
This will come out, we have our schedule.
Early April?
So this episode comes out, if you're listening to it on release day, it should be April 23rd, which will be the week after our next movie, which is Burnt. So we haven't actually, or at least that's what you told me?
Yeah, that's what we're watching.
Okay, so Burnt. So that'll be,
I have problems.
Okay. I'll have
just know that going in.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I knew
just
that
know I am obsessed for probably all the wrong reasons.
Okay. But so, basically, if you're listening to this on or after release day, our second movie will already be out.
And that is going to be Burnt with Bradley Cooper. And I'm so excited. So, yeah.
And then after that, Beaches with Barbara Hershey and Bette Midler.
I am so excited now. Like, I love that I'm
Y-
showing a nice, like a little more modern take on something. And you're like, we're going to watch another older movie.
It's from the 80s. It's, I think they did a remake of it, actually. Hang on.
But why?
I
Why
don't know.
keep.
Hang on.
Because Hollywood doesn't want anything original. That's also a topic.
That is definitely, that's a whole ass, that's a whole ass
So,
special. But so yeah, so
yeah.
in 2017, so it was a Lifetime movie that they did a remake of it. And
Oh.
so our original stars, Bette Midler and Barbara Hershey, are replaced with Idina Menzel and Nia Long.
I gotta watch the original to have an opinion.
Yeah, it's Idina Menzel. Sure, I don't really know enough about Nia to really
Have an
have an
opinion.
opinion. It's just a case of it's a Lifetime remake, so therefore it can't be good in my opinion. At least
No, like
not
I
good by the
can't
standard.
stand Lifetime.
Like it's not good by the standard of like what is an enjoyable movie. I watch Lifetime movies like the random like the story of whatever someone that got kidnapped or something. I watch that as like that's something to put on in the background while I take a nap.
There you go.
That's what happens.
I don't touch Lifetime with a 10-foot pole. Like there's just nothing on there that's really gonna interest me.
Nah, it's fair.
So what did you think?
I liked so we started with Bob's birthday and like to be fair, him wanting to go to the laser show one last time, that is a very reasonable thing to ask for his birthday. I think that's a good I think personally. Just like it's one thing to do, and so he ends up going with Gene, which I think is very cute. And one thing I really liked about it, I felt bad for Gene because he got scared. And I'm like, this is what's because it's loud, it's a lot of lights, the lights are scary. And like it can be overwhelming for a lot of kids. And I like that they're showing that because like I feel like a lot of times we can forget how young the kids are.
Yeah,
And
because
this
they're
was
played by adults and like the way they portray themselves a lot of times we forget they're kids.
yeah, like it's more mature humor. They're played by adults. But like him like immediately being scared to be like, I can't do this. Like that's a very very natural kid response. And I really like that. And I also really like that Bob gives him a sensory friendly experience so he can maybe he should have done that beforehand.
Like maybe like he didn't know how he would react. I think
Yeah.
that was that he had to pivot. That happens a lot with parenting. Like
Yeah.
you'll think something's going to work out, next thing you know you're pivoting to something else because at the end of the day every kid is different and you've got to do what you can for them. Because I take this also as like it is loud, it can be scary, but there's people assume that it's a possibility these kids are neurodivergent, and since they are very unique children, I could see neurodivergencies in like all of them. But Gene especially with his obsessions and his hyperfixations, like yes, a loud, bright thing could be scary for a kid going around with no idea what's about to happen. Like it can be jarring.
Yeah, I don't know how old I was, but I was on the I might have been about Gene's age, give or take, so up to about 10, 11. We were at the Museum of Natural History in the city, and they have a planetarium and they do a show and they do a thing and like they talk and like I think the show at the time was about dinosaurs and like the extinction and everything.
Okay.
I was little. I was little enough that like that kind of like for a couple of days I was constantly afraid that a meteor was going to come down and kill us all.
Oh,
Like for a couple of
see,
days.
my experiences like that are so different. My parents, for some odd reason, as a child, I think my daughter's age or younger, she's 10, let me watch Signs. I literally had night terrors and woke up like feeling something bit me in my leg one night. I was so
Ooh.
terrified. Like it was bad. I have not watched that movie since that day.
That's
I
fair.
still have trauma.
Yeah.
So like you never know what's going to scare your kids, but maybe don't let your kid watch Signs. That's probably a good start.
Yeah. I think after that time at the Natural History Museum, I want to say the only other time I've ever been in a planetarium was in college because like we had like a planetarium thing like in our science building.
I've never
And
been in one.
it I mean it wasn't that interesting because it was literally so our rather than being like kind of like a show that does things, and to be fair, it's a small liberal arts college's planetarium show. It was a projector with like the stars that are over us, and one of the astronomy students with a laser pointer and a microphone. That was the whole planetarium show. It was free.
Maybe not the best date night.
No, that wasn't even a day. That was family weekend. My parents wanted to go to it.
Oh, that's worse.
No, and it was
I'm
warm.
sorry.
The
That's so
AC,
much
like,
worse.
it was like warm because like it was like the end of September, which is still hot, and then like there's no AC in that room because for reasons I have no clue. It was not a great experience.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. But a
No,
laser show is like sounds like a lot of fun.
it
This
does.
sounds terrible. The last time we saw like a laser show was at Stone Mountain,
Okay.
which is problematic within itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's actually a lot of stuff to do at Stone Mountain. You can also climb it. You can take stuff to get up to the top, but they have,
Mm-hmm.
of course, attractions down at the bottom. There was a lot of science stuff. There's a lot of buildings from war, like Civil War time, so you can like get
Mm-hmm.
educated while you're there as well. But one of the things they do for Fourth of July is a big laser show
Okay.
up against the rock that is Stone Mountain. It's huge,
Uh-huh.
but it's started to really decay over time
Fair.
thanks to the elements. But there's also like a Civil War monument, in the side of it. They completely defaced that rock. It's embarrassing. I don't know if they've done any work on it. I'm crossing my fingers they haven't because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's take a place that looks like it'd probably have indigenous history and smack some Civil War soldiers on the side of it.
Makes sense to
Um,
me.
yeah, this is Georgia. So that's like the last laser show we saw. And it was a really great laser show. I'm one of those people, I actually really advocate for doing maybe more things like laser shows and like drones
Mm-hmm.
in place of fireworks because fireworks create a lot of waste,
Yeah.
noise, bad for animals, bad for people. Because it is always weird. I'm like, we set off tons of fireworks on 4th of July while people who have served our country have PTSD can't even sit through them.
Yeah.
Like, can we find a different way that's fun for everybody? I hate fireworks.
Well,
Like,
like
I'm one of those people.
Disney World, like for how much? I mean, they still do fireworks every
Hmm.
night, but they've created so much within the fireworks shows themselves that aren't just shooting things into the sky. Like Epcot, they've changed them enough times, but they have like they used to have like these barges that would do like projections. I think they still do projections. It's
Oh, that's
changed.
cool.
It's changed somehow, but they do but the way the Magic Kingdom show Happily Ever After, a good portion of the show it is fireworks, but it's also projections on the castle and all the way down Main Street. Like they've made the whole area part of
Seems
the
more
show.
interactive.
It is more interactive because that way also it's less fireworks shooting off into the sky. I mean, it still involves Tinkerbell flying, across the
Yeah.
sky. That I would say that poor woman, but she, knew what she was signing on for when she played Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
It is a person like ziplining across the park.
Wow.
It's a real person like that in a light up Tinkerbell outfit, so you can still see her. Because from that far away, she looks like a fairy, like size wise from that far away, how high up she is.
Yeah.
But they've done stuff, and maybe it is an environmental thing. I'm not sure, but they've done stuff to use, I think, more projections and lasers and less
Yeah, it's
total
better for the
fireworks to make
environment.
it makes it just as big of a spectacle without as much pyrotechnics.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate because like a lot of the fireworks in my local area are done over our river, and
Mm-hmm.
Savannah River's already got enough going on with it. Like, can we not
Yeah.
put debris also then? Because like it's a lot of debris, a lot of noise. It's not good for local ecosystems for those
Yeah.
animals. And then like every time people start setting them off, whatever holiday in our
Mm-hmm.
area, my poor dogs, like we
Yeah.
freak out because I can't stand it. Like I'm sitting at it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm trying to like wind down for bed, and now there's explosions going on outside my window. It's like it's not for everybody. It's not. And I know there's probably people listeners who are like, but it's fireworks. No, like
No. And like
they're not good.
it'd be one thing if it was just on the holidays. If people did it like just on
Yes,
Memorial
but
Day,
they do it
July
leading
4th.
up and afterwards.
It's always every time now. It's like a week of fireworks surrounding every holiday.
Yep.
Regardless of whether it's a firework holiday. I think I heard fireworks yesterday.
It's ridiculous. We don't. They're just. Ugh. And the amount of people that end up in the emergency room, like
Yes.
it's. I am weird about technology in some ways, but sometimes you just gotta let technology do what you actually would be good for you,
Mm-hmm.
would be good for everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's no less fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. Okay, so I never had an American Girl doll. I never got one. They were
I
too
did.
expensive. I was always so excited though. I watched because Samantha was my favorite,
Mm-hmm.
which ironically she was the one in New York.
Yeah.
With the industrialization,
Yeah,
and
they didn't really have
kids in factories.
their backstories were, if you look a little too deeply at them, mildly
It's messed
depressing.
up.
They're
It's
so
so
messed up.
depressing. To the point though, my parents bought me the movie. I had the movie on DVD.
Oh.
I had the books. I always got the American Girl magazine, but no one could ever actually afford an American Girl doll because they were so overly expensive. So I did have my American Girl phase. So I do enjoy this aspect.
Mhm.
I love that it's Louise that's obsessed and not Tina. Like Tina's the one that's creeped out.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because like the moment Louise realizes that she's a spy, she's like, wait a minute, I want that. Like it's really cool.
So wait, the movie you're talking about. So wait, did I hear you correctly? You said Samantha was yours.
I think Samantha, yeah.
So you're talking about the 2004 TV movie?
I think so.
Rebecca
No,
Mader's
did
in
I?
that. If that's the one you're
Is
talking
that
about, Rebecca
is
Mader,
she?
she's in it.
She is. She's the aunt.
She gives her the Wizard of Oz book.
She's the aunt.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Oh God, that's how you know I really watched it. I'm like, that's the aunt. I'm
I was
so
like,
excited.
but I was thinking, it's like I knew she was in one of them.
Oh, I outed myself, but it's okay. Who wasn't an American Girl doll?
Well, okay, so I didn't
Girl
watch.
doll? No, never mind. We're just gonna leave that as it is.
I didn't watch the movies. I think I read a couple of the books.
The books were good.
I had an American Girl doll, but I didn't have one of like the character dolls. I had one of the ones.
Yeah.
So I had one of the ones that you're supposed to get the one that like looks like you. The redheaded one.
God.
They have one redheaded one, and she was creepy. I didn't get that one.
She was. Yeah, she did look a little creepy.
So my parents got me one. She has like blondish hair and green eyes. Like looks nothing like me.
But you have an American Girl doll.
But like that's the one I wanted. They didn't just give me that one randomly. Like when if they asked me at a number of occasions, like if I wanted one, which one would I get? And it was never the redheaded one.
You're like, I'm good. They don't do the redheads right.
No, it was weird. It was. I think it also had blue eyes, which again, red hair and blue eyes is a very rare combination.
It is.
I had
They're
the
both
conversation-
recessive genes.
Exactly. So like it's just not that common. But for the special girl store in the mall, that is basically what the American doll.
Really?
That's what
we didn't have an American Girl
store.
dog store.
Well, like in New York City, the American Girl doll experience, like where the big like flagship one is, with
Okay.
the store with the restaurant. That if you don't have your own doll, you need a dinner doll. That is a thing. They did not make that up.
Really?
It's weird.
Oh, I see. I never had that experience. I only got. I saw the world through the magazine.
No, see, my parents, they were smart. We didn't go there. We saw that and went, hell no, went somewhere else.
Oh,
But
thank the gods.
because it's so creepy. But because also it's expensive. The food's not that good. I did appreciate that Gretchen also got chicken fingers. I was like, that's a good choice. But I really honestly, being a hairdresser at an American Girl doll store doesn't sound like a bad gig as long as you don't mind kids.
Yeah, if you don't mind kids, if you don't mind like prosthetic hair, like
Yeah, because
because it is different. Yeah, it's
skill set.
entirely different skill set for polyester hair.
But
it sounds like a good job for. It's so funny because they go, like, oh, the friend that swears, the one who's just really inappropriate. She works with children.
works in a toy store. I like honestly the A plot B plot split of this. It felt disjointed, but it was two sides of the same coin of parent and kid wacky adventure.
Yeah.
So it didn't. While they had little to nothing to do with each other, it still felt
it worked.
It works as a cohesive episode, which I liked a lot because it was. I mean, Linda wasn't doing a whole lot. Mostly, it was Louise and Tina. I think probably guiding more of the thing with the American Girl or with the special girl doll.
Yeah,
I like that Louise found a doll that she liked.
It was so cool. That made me happy.
Because again, it was kind of like with Jean. Like that's a realistic response for a kid. Like she is still a 9-year-old girl. She would enjoy dolls in theory, even though she's
in theory
mildly psychopathic.
She has like her coochie copy and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So like she has her own form of dolls. I think we have this like idea that little girls play with baby dolls and little dolls like the American Girl dolls and stuff like that. But like I was playing with horses. I was Tina at like 9. I had all my like horse dolls that I had with accurate saddles. What was my childhood?
Yeah, because I was my toys were mostly like Polly Pockets and that stuff.
My parents never got us Polly Pockets. I had to play with my cousins.
Well, I what's funny is though, so I Polly Pockets was like my main thing. I had some Barbies. I played with them.
I had Barbies, yeah.
I had a lot of stuff, but Polly Pockets I think were my main because since they're smaller, I could get more stuff for them basically.
Yes.
So I had a lot of stuff for the Polly Pockets. But I had like both like the regular and they had like these like mini like ones that definitely were choking hazards. They were like these because they were like the tiny like kind of rubbery magnety ones. So I remember I had those too. So those were definitely choking hazards. But where was I going? Oh, so where was I going with this? The thing is with the Polly Pockets and everything, like I played with them more or less through high school, mainly because it somehow became a tradition for me and my best friend that when she came over, because she would normally do like one night of Hanukkah with us.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like basically like after we got to a certain age, that was like the one time we broke out the Polly Pockets and did stuff, to the point where I don't remember what year this was, but this was an
It was
adventure
like
one.
my Christmas Eve growing up, actually. My cousin would bust out the Polly Pockets.
We broke out a bunch of like the Polly Pocket cars that I had, and my brother had a bunch of Hess trucks. And so
Oh.
we, rather than playing with the dolls, we played with the cars. The cars were like cars, like the movie. The cars were the
Yeah.
entities. They were the characters we were playing, and we basically staged a war between the Polly Pocket cars and the Hess trucks. We had to have been like 13 at that point, at minimum.
No,
would
I
assume.
love that. It sounds
But that
like
was
my grandmother kept all my uncle's He-Man toys.
mhm.
So we used to do that with He-Man and Barbies.
Nice.
So I understand. Because
Yeah.
we did.
No,
We had the whole set of He-Man toys to play with growing up from like the 80s. It was great. I don't know what she did with those.
no, it worked out nicely though, because like I kept them. I never got rid of them until I mean, I was in or after college. I don't remember exactly how long ago it was. It had to have been after college. Because her parents were moving. It was after college, so her parents were moving. So, and they're having like a sale, like a garage sale.
Mm-hmm.
So she knew I was clearing out some stuff. She's like, if you want to like bring your Polly Pocket stuff or anything else that you want to sell and just get rid of, just bring it over and we'll see if we can sell it to somebody. But her brother and sister-in-law were up with her then oldest, or still oldest nephew. The kid's still around. I don't know why I said then.
Yeah,
he was
grow.
At the time he was the only, at the time he was the only nephew.
Gotcha.
And I brought it over early so that they could go through the trucks, because he really liked cars and they didn't care what color they were or what they came from.
They're cars.
The cars they took a couple of like they took I think one or two of like the Jeeps that I had, and I had this random pink limo that had a button that it still made the music it was supposed to. That was their favorite. That was her sister-in-law's favorite toy that then became her nephew's favorite, because she would sing along. This thing, I don't know how old that thing had to have been, but like she changed the battery and it worked just fine.
That's insane.
I got a video of them playing with it and I was very happy. So
that's
like those
sweet.
those
See,
toys...
that's what we should be doing with our toys from our childhood, is
Yeah.
passing them on to the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
And like, just don't throw the toys away. You know, like my nephew's about to get so much stuff from me, and just because we have tons of toys and clothes, but we have kids to pass them on to. That's how you last.
Yeah, my cousins have all my old doll houses, or this. Well, they had them. I don't know if they still have them, but that's where I sent them when I was getting ready to get rid of them. And like, it's just it's more fun to pass them along.
Yeah, it's a real Toy Story moment, you know.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the Laser-inth?
Overall, this was a good episode. Like, this was enjoyable. I gave it, score-wise, I gave it 8s across the board.
No, not bad.
No, not at
I
all.
did the same exact thing.
There we have a matching score.
We have a matching score. 8s across the board. 24.
Yeah. Go.
Because that's like, I mean, it's a good episode. You enjoy both sides of the story. It's really, because you also have these sweet, wholesome moments in both story plots.
Yeah.
Like seeing Gene make it through and them find accommodations for him, because that's what that was. They found accommodations so he could do that.
Yeah.
Like, accommodations are so fucking important, and children should be given them as well. Because I think that's interesting. You don't see that a lot. Like, a lot of times there's not always accommodations for kids, and you're just sitting there like, well, how is my kid supposed to enjoy this? And it's just like, good luck. Like, give kids accommodations. But then seeing Louise get obsessed with a doll, and it's really sweet, and they're like, no, we're going to save this doll, and they go through great lengths to do so. And no one argues it. Everyone bands together and does it for the sake of the child. And it's just such a wholesome episode. So, yeah, it's across the board. It's not a 30. It's not a 30. There's still a lot of Gretchen and like other interesting aspects.
The scalper wasn't exactly my favorite. I appreciated the concession guy pretending to be two different people named Nick just to mess with him.
Yes, that was amazing. That's a fun joke.
Like, very realistic.
Yes, because you got to mess with the scalpers.
You have to, but I could have done without the slap bracelets and everything.
Oh man, yeah, those are still a thing.
They are.
My kid thinks it's funny to slap it against you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, we did too, but once you reach 30, you're like, can we not?
There comes a certain point where you bruise too easily for a slap bracelet.
That's how old we are.
Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 403, Rocky Road. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen. so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and Blue Sky. And if you'd like to join our Patreon, you can find the link with more details in our show notes.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.